In the latter half of the 18th century, a wind of change began to stir across the American colonies. The air was thick with whispers of rebellion and murmurs of discontent. The common people, once content with their lot, were growing restless under the yoke of the British crown. They were the builders, the farmers, the merchants, the everyday folk who had once been the silent backbone of the colonies. But they were silent no more. Strains of Enlightenment thought trickled down from the educated elite, insinuating themselves into the minds and hearts of the ordinary folk. They began to question, to challenge, to dream of a life where their rights were not trampled upon by a distant monarch. Their grievances against the crown were mounting, the tension palpable. These were not just whispers in the wind, but the rumblings of a storm brewing. These were the seeds of an uprising, sown in the hearts of ordinary people. But how did these ordinary citizens, farmers, craftsmen, merchants transform into rebels? Let's delve into the heart of this transformation. Imagine a world where your rights, the very fabric of your freedom, are being trampled upon. The common folk of the time, though not well versed in political jargon, were keenly aware of this violation. They felt the sting of injustice every time their rights to self-governance and fair treatment were denied. This bitter taste of dictatorship was made even more palpable when British troops marched into Boston. The people saw this as a punishment, a clear violation of their human rights. This fueled a collective hatred, a thirst for justice that could only be quenched through rebellion. The ordinary citizens didn't transform into rebels in a day. It was a gradual process, a slow and steady awakening to the injustices they were facing. Their transformation was not overnight, but a slow and steady awakening to the injustices they were facing. In the face of oppression, the people found strength in their faith and unity. As the ordinary people's revolt against Britain intensified, an unshakable faith was kindled in their hearts. They believed in a higher power, a divine justice that stood with the oppressed. This faith was a beacon in the darkest of times, a guiding light leading them on the path of resistance. Unity, too, played a monumental role in their uprising. They knew they were but ordinary men and women facing a formidable adversary. Yet they also knew there was power in numbers. They understood that their strength lay not in individual might, but in collective resilience. So they stood together, united in their struggle, their shared vision binding them in an unbreakable bond. Their faith and unity, these were not mere concepts, but powerful forces that stirred their spirits, ignited their courage, and propelled them forward. Their faith and unity became their greatest weapons, fueling their resolve to fight for their rights. The ordinary people's revolt against Britain was not just a struggle for freedom, but a testament to the power of the common man. The spirit of self-governance, deeply ingrained in their hearts, fueled their resistance against the oppressive British regime. They were ordinary folks, yet their extraordinary courage became the beacon of hope in dark times. Unfamiliar with the complexity of political theories, they were guided by a simple yet profound belief in their rights. Rights to fair treatment, to choose their own government, to live freely. This belief was their armor, their shield against the might of the British Empire. When their city was punished, their rights violated, they didn't cower, they responded with a resounding call for revolt. Their faith in divine providence, their love for their homeland, their unity, these were the forces that propelled this uprising. In the end, it was the ordinary people who wrote their own destiny, proving that when united, even the common man can change the course of history.